Good afternoon, everyone. Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader, and here this afternoon to hit upon what I consider is what it's kind of the subject of the moment, and it should be with everybody. And what we're doing here is we are really talking about recruitment. Last night I had the pleasure of, very humble pleasure of being asked to speak at the West Surrey Buzz, and there's a couple of ladies here that were there. Um, and in fact, I focused on the whole recruitment thing because it is so important. Yes, there's loads of things you can talk about, but I think this is important. So I'm going to ask everybody a question, a rhetorical question. I want you to think about it. Who do you think we should recruit? Who do you think we should recruit? I hope you've got a notepad and pen because I'm going to go through stuff and I'm going to say to you, this is who you should be focusing on. And there's big reasons why. Okay. So, top of the list are all these poor souls that are working very, very hard in what I call the good old professions. So, anybody in the NHS that's a professional. I'm on about nurses, senior nurses. I'm on about doctors. I'm even on about consultants. I'm on about the ancillary services, you know, pediatricians and all of those, because it doesn't matter who you talk to, wages are not increasing in line with inflation. And I don't care what our politicians say, that stats this, stats that. We all know that they can play with stats and make whatever figures they want. In reality, everything is going up. And the only thing still happening that's coming down is rain every single day, nearly. Yeah. And it's very difficult for people to make ends meet. Once upon a time, their salary could cover, okay? Not anymore. There's too much month left at the end of the money. And if you're not muted, could I ask you to? Because otherwise it makes a lot of noise. What I'm going to say to you is the NHS in its entirety, but I'm not going to include the people that kind of like empty the bins and stuff like that. I'm on about professionals, people that are predominantly, they would be in their own homes. And you're going to keep hearing this. And I'm sorry if I sound like a stuck record player, but the company has said it once and for all now. Focus on homeowners. Okay. Big focus on homeowners. All right. Who else? Teachers. Gosh, bless them. They're leaving the profession in their droves. And we're talking about assistant heads. We're talking about head teachers. Oh gosh, they're telling me, I've got so many teachers in my team now, it's crazy. They are telling me they don't want to deliver the curriculum they're being asked to. They don't want to be managerial administrators. They want to do what they went in for, which was the care of the minds of our children. But it's not happening. And they're leaving. And they need something else. Who else? The police. Gosh, once upon a time, a stalwart profession. Not anymore. Yeah. What about the fire service? I've got quite a few of those as well. The prison service. I've just recruited someone from the prison service. A very interesting things that he told me. We're talking about the professions. We're talking about, here we are, mortgage brokers. Why mortgage brokers? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, because they deal with homeowners. Yeah. So anybody that predominantly would know this, hear this out, their circle of life will be mixing with homeowners. Now we know why, because if you're recruiting someone, you want to get them off to the best start. It's no good them telling you, I don't know a single homeowner. It is not going to work for them, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but they're going to earn almost zilch. Our target market is homeowners. Now, on that score, I'm now going to explain clearly the company is not tenantist, okay, if there's such a word. All right, they have not got anything against tenants. I'm sure all of us at one time was a tenant. I was a tenant. I was a single parent tenant for 8 years. It's not that. What happens, tenants tend to move frequently. Very often their tenancy is 12 months. Bless, a lot of them are 6 months. And as I said last night to Surrey, do not even get into touch with people in HMOs, okay, at all. And I can see a few people kind of nodding in agreement. Now, the reason being, you may have a wonderful relationship with perhaps your brother, perhaps a friend. They are a tenant. They're used to paying their bills. Great. The problem where the debt arises is when they move on, that property gets vacated, then it's either catch the letting agent or the landlord for the interim time, because Utility Warehouse, like every supplier, has to continue supplying gas and electric. This is where the debt happens. Then, eventually, a new occupier moves in, a new tenant. How does Utility Warehouse know? They don't have a crystal ball. They have to send a letter to the occupier. How many people, when they first move into a property and they're up to their eyes in doing everything, bins stuff, just goes, oh, bins it. That can go on for a long time. And in the meantime, Utility Warehouse has to continue supply and the debt accrues. And then there's all the wrangle that if there isn't a smart meter in place, what was the opening reading? What was the closing reading? Believe me, I have absolutely, in the past, been witness to this. It can be manic. So that's your reason why Utility Warehouse doesn't want you to target tenants. So likewise, you don't really want to target tenants as recruits. And I'm not being nasty, all right? I am doing this to help you. Now, if you've got a pen and paper to hand, I'd like you to do something for me. On a sheet, I'd like you to draw a long line in the centre. And I want you to put number 10 at the top, number 1 at the bottom, and in between 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, if you could do that, that would be great. Then I want you thinking about your circumstances, your, not necessarily your affluence, but where you feel you stand in life in terms of professionalism and your business. Please, would you put your name against one of those numbers? 10, to give you an idea, is somebody like Richard Branson, top entrepreneur. Okay. And one could be, I've got to be very diplomatic here. Okay. I won't say what we used to. One is an out of work, long-term person that hasn't probably worked for at least a year or more, may have mental health problems, may be the kind of person that never participates in sports, any social activities, does not belong to any clubs or societies, doesn't belong to any churches, is basically, oh, and they also tell you, oh, well, I don't get on with my family, I haven't spoken to them in years. Basically is a hermit. That's what one is. Could you now put yourself somewhere in between those? Okay, now, here's the question for you. And you could do this with your teams. Okay. Where do you think predominantly we tend to recruit? Could you please mute, Annette? Did she hear that? Yeah, lovely. Okay, where do we recruit? Well, basically, I'm going to tell you what happens. Because we feel more confident when we recruit somebody that we feel we're either on the same level with, or we recruit down. And then that person that you bring in, guess what? They do the same. They recruit possibly at the same level, or they recruit down. And it goes on until you end up that you're bringing in, and they're bringing in, your team's bringing in nothing but number ones. That's what happens. And I have been witness with Rob Barras once at Southampton Holiday Inn doing training. And this lady brought in very happy her team, and you should have seen them. Rob and I were like, oh, we nearly wanted to do a runner. Okay. Now, where should we recruit? We should recruit up as high as possible. You want to go for the most successful people you know. You know, we used to call them the chicken list. Aha, yes. The people that you feel a bit chicken about giving a call. I'm promising you they are the people to phone. They are the people to contact. They are the people that will instantly get this business model and how clever it is. They will be the kind of people that will quickly do a bit of due diligence. Shall I tell you what they'll do? They won't go on Trustpilot or right into Google scam UW. No, they will go and look at the stock exchange. They will check them out. They will go to Companies House and just see how utterly brilliant this company is. They will see that the share price is so good, it speaks volumes about what's happening in the business. These are the people that will go, wow, this is a clever business model. Okay, does that kind of help you? Who shouldn't we recruit? We shouldn't recruit letting agents. Not at all. In the past, never again. Do not recruit letting agents. Who are their target market audience? They are tenants. If you recruit mortgage brokers, you're going to get people that are buying their houses, moving house, and they're homeowners. Okay. Who else should we recruit? As I said, people that are long-term out of work. I'm sorry. We do want to give people a lift, but we have to be realistic. It would be like giving I'll do an extreme example. It would be like giving one of these people the chance to be a brain surgeon. Do you think that they will manage to go to medical school for 7 years and do everything? No. Let's be absolutely honest here. We have got to hit the right market, and there are lots of people to go for. Okay, so what else? Let's have a look what we've got here. Why should we recruit these types? Well, that's obvious, isn't it? Who fancies being paid for 25 years plus? Okay, so I have seen the stats. It has been revealed to all the senior group leaders, and it was quite astonishing when the charts came up that Justin revealed that if you, for example, sign up a multi-service homeowner, all the services and the cashback card is vital. The stats show they will stay at least 25 years. Who would like to be paid for 25 years? Absolutely. Can I tell you that when you also go higher up the demographic scale in prospecting for customers, what you find is paying below this, you'll actually earn more. Because pro rata, it is more. And you know what? When you're prospecting in that field, you will find that these are the people that will be open to the opportunity too. It just goes hand in hand. I mean, on here, I can see Julie. Julie's a solicitor. I brought in Mel, a solicitor. Funny thing is, Mel brought in other solicitors. Fancy that. Okay, so if you go for certain areas, what you'll find is if you recruit certain professions, their circle of life by its nature is going to be similar. Is that not true? Yeah. So I'm now going to show you something. I'm going to share my screen. And I don't know if anyone can see this. Anybody ever heard of Tower Hamlets? Tower Hamlets in London. Poor housing, council families, etc., etc. I'm going to say to you, do you think that would be a good place to go and leaflet? No. Okay, no. So we've got to be absolutely honest, and we've got to say to ourselves, if we don't live in maybe the most salubrious of areas, perhaps we should make sure we do actually go out and prospect to the right areas. Does that make sense? Yeah, because, you know, here, I'll give you another clue, 20k giveaways. So the great places that we do them are like the Gillingham and Shaftesbury show. This is local. Dorset County show. School fetes and fairs where all the mums and dads are homeowners. Wonderful. I have made the odd mistake in time, and we went to, I'll tell you where it was, Wicks, up at, it's up on the Ringwood Road. Forgotten the area, what it's called, but basically immediately opposite this huge retail park where there's a range and all of that, was this huge, great council estate. And what we discovered was that the people coming in, loads of them were straight off the council estate because they just walked over. Do you know what? It did not work. we booked our time, our allocation, and none of us got anything. So we have got to be a little bit more astute. We've got to do what any good company would do and say, we're going to target the right market. We want to recruit them because these people, their circle of life is going to be such that they too will bring in the right people, and they will bring in the right people. Conversely, if you do the opposite, you will find, now look, I'm going to put my hand up, and I'm afraid I've made a few boo-boos. I've wanted to lift people up because I really like the idea of that. Call me a bit yellow sometimes. The trouble is, when that somebody tells you they don't know any homeowners at all, I'm afraid they don't get going. And do you know what happens is we waste our time. We really waste our time. Okay. It's different if you meet somebody that is a tenant. I'm on about as a recruit here, and they're telling you, oh yeah, I know where I can get homeowners because my daughter or son goes to XYZ school, and nearly everybody at the school gate, I'm in the minority, they'll tell you. I know loads of their friends' parents and things like that. Oh, and where I work, there's lots of homeowners. Now that's different. And I actually think there is joy in helping somebody in that situation. Would you not agree? There's nothing I could think better than helping somebody get out of it and improve their lives. But we've got to choose the right people and be discerning who we help to do that. Okay, really do mean that. So part of that is where and how should we focus on recruiting? Well, I'm saying, again, if you're doing neighbourhood letters, make sure you hit the right neighbourhood. That doesn't mean you drive 10 miles away. I'm sorry, that's not your neighbourhood. That's being not very authentic. Okay, we need to be authentic. I'll tell you another thing too. In the whole recruiting process, I am seeing a bad trend. Okay, in various parts of my team, I am seeing people that are not listening to me. By the way, it's nobody on here, so you can rest at ease. But I'm seeing people that are recruiting their friends who are tenants, and they're recruiting nothing but tenants, and not one of them is signing up for the services. Well, why is that? Because basically they'll tell you, oh, well, I want to stay on my key meter. Excuse me. Do we all know we don't earn a penny off key meters? Do we all know they're the most expensive way to pay for energy? They'll tell you like, oh, well, I've got a special deal with, I don't know, somebody at £17 a month for their broadband. And, oh, do you know what I do? They'll tell you, I go on Martin Lewis and I change broadband provider every single time. Oh, and I change my mobile deal. So I've got is it Leica or Lycra? Leica, I think. Yeah. Oh, and I only pay £3 a month. No, I'm sorry. I have met these people. I have. And I'm telling you now, if they don't switch their services, how can they have any authenticity, any sincerity, and recommend? Of course they can't, because they haven't switched. So they don't know how good it is. Okay, I can see lots of nodding. I'm glad I'm talking sense here. All right, I may be talking about things that are a little bit uncomfortable. I'm very aware of that, but somebody's got to do it. And Lisa's never afraid to say what needs to be said. All right, what is it? I was told by Mike Rousseau last night. We like you, Lisa, because you say it how it is. Okay, so I am. All right. So the focusing of the correct type of partners, recruiting those partners, is absolutely essential. I am fed up of seeing recruits come in and they never have any services. I don't know what's going on now. I'm not sure, because in the past, what happened, we did a presentation. And then the last bit was, so would you be interested in saving money, making money, or both? And a lot of people would say both. The people that were interested in, in being recruited, earning money. So the first thing you then did was say, right, come on then, that's great. Nothing like showing you how it works. Let's show you how the remote control system works. Let's show you how much you can save. Straight in there, go through, sign them up as a customer. They're actually a customer before they're even a partner. But I'm seeing other things happening and I don't know why. Well, I do. I think I do know why. Because the stuff's coming in not the usual way. Now, if you recruit a partner first, because you think, oh, I want to get somebody in the bag, if they then don't become a customer, you've then got problems. It's hard. It's very, very hard. And I can tell you there are people that I am seeing this happening. And in fact, there is someone that will remain nameless, as recently in one of my teams gone team leader. It is absolutely appalling statistics. It's just like, it's like that one that I didn't agree with that I think Celia Gadd talked about, James Essien. I'm sorry, when out of 50 group customers for a team leader, the person's got 25 themselves, but 55 partners have been brought in to get to team leader. There's something seriously wrong. How many of those are on zero? How many of those will cancel and then go off and tell all their family and friends, oh, utility warehouse doesn't work? Yes, it does, if we bother to recruit the right people. So what does that mean? There's a big so, a big how. We have to do the right thing. Now, I've been explaining and I'm going into big depths at 8 till 9 tonight, because I've got a group called Senior Team Leaders to GL, Lead to Success. And what I'm going to be talking about is the things that matter. And it matters to all of us, guys. You've got to do the right thing in how you recruit. Do not let them just sign themselves up. I see the oddest things coming up when I get my emails. A new partner sometimes the names aren't even comprehensible, or they're all in capitals, and I know that there was nobody there helping them. All right. And then I hear that, oh, the Fast Start plan is 2 weeks later. No. You recruit. You stay with that person. You show them around the partner portal. You show them their account area. You add value to this incredible opportunity, showing them, oh my gosh, you've even got your public liability to £10 million occurrence given to you. I used to spend £100 a year for that, and now the company gives it us. Unlimited training worth thousands. And I'm hearing people aren't being booked on. Listen, don't say to them, I suggest you go on the launch your business training. No. As soon as I've recruited them, instantly, I go there to the events and I book them on it. And I write it in my diary. They have it done. Do you not think if they have lots of skills given to them at the start, they've got a better chance of getting going? I think so. Absolutely. In fact, they could take up on telephone skills. They could take up on multi-service customers. There's so many great training, and it's not being utilized enough, which is a great pity. Yeah. I was a bit cross because I couldn't get on a training that Ram Dat was shouting about, because it actually clashed with something I was doing, which was to do with utility warehouse. But I will be getting myself booked on. I see on Facebook that Stavros Michaelides is saying at his level of SGL, he's booked on nearly every single training, getting to future team leader, getting to team leader, and so forth. Do you know why? Because yes, we might have a lot of skills, but the reality is, don't you think it's a good idea to know what the new recruits are actually getting? Then you can tell them with absolute confidence and assurity what's happening for them and why they should have this. Okay. So look, I've kind of had to blast a lot of information in the space of 30 minutes to really kind of say to you, recruiting is like a massive thing. And I would say it's something we could continue next week as well, because there's more to it. Because what I'd like to do is go through with you on how I help people get to make those calls. The biggest thing, calling is absolute the thing. It's the thing that, don't we all really hate it? Yeah. But I would like to explain how we get them going. So guys, unmute yourselves. Is there anybody that's got a question? Because I've absolutely gone through a mound of stuff there. Anybody want to ask something? Yes, Amanda. You put your hand up, Amanda?
No, I was just unmuting.
Unmute. Julie, would you like to ask a question?
No, there wasn't anything that sprung to mind. Thank you.
Is there anything that anything I've said that anybody's unsure of?
Lisa, I'm just going to support your thing about letting agents, having been a letting agent for an awful long time. And when I first started the business, I thought, oh, great, I've got all these customers. But I know from experience the fact that the debt comes then when they leave, because I've been when the next tenant's gone in, there's a pile of post for the previous tenant, which goes nowhere. And that's where the bills are. So I do totally agree with you with that, and say avoid letting agents like the plague.
Yeah.
Except sign them up personally.
And it's not that we're being nasty to these people, because we're not. But if we're going to recruit a tenant, they have got to have access to an audience in their circle of life of homeowners. It's simple as that, because it is our target market. And the reason being is we want the business to be in business for donkey's years. We want to expand to the 2 million in the right way, not the wrong way, so it crumbles. Yeah. So guys, thank you very much for your attention. Absolutely great stuff. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Training the same
see you
time
next
next week, Lisa, so I can diarise it.
yes, Amanda, I tell you what, I'm going to put you into one of my groups and then you can send it to your team. All right?
Perfect. Thank you.
Take care. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Good day, everyone.